Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Garbo. In today's video, we're going to talk about the June 12th update. I know I'm a little behind, like 5 days behind on the update, but that's because my videos don't rotate until they rotate onto certain days. So anyway, today is the day that my video rolls over and I wanted to talk about the update for myself. There's been a couple of videos where people have already talked about the update. They've all given their all thoughts and opinions on it. So I thought I would do the same thing and give my fresh take on it as well. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and let's hop right into it. So this was the Y1SO.3 patch update. So this is what they had to say. So starting off is gameplay. Gameplay by added aiming penalties for players who go to town on the jumping crouch buttons, aka the nuisance tactics of jump spamming, aka the matting exploits of jump spamming. Opinions vary. Players can now push the package in the escort mode with confidence that their legs won't detach from their torsos and stranded them. Which was a thing that was happening. So before I even proceed on, this is already one of the biggest lies in the update. Some Twitter posts from, for the developers, what their direction or what they think or what they added into the game for this jump spam is by the fourth spam jump. So they are allowed to spam jump at least 4 times. And then the penalty kicks in to where it messes up their aim down sides. They loses their penalty loss, like they lose all the aim down sides. So do I feel like that this is actually a good change? Do I feel like this is going to help the game? No. I feel like this part right here is actually a pointless thing. I do not think this helps the game out whatsoever, because by the 4th jump per se that they are going to start penalizing players for, that's all that they need. The first bunny hop alone is actually super strong, so there should have been an actual an actual aim thing happen. The aim downside penalty or whatever type of penalty that they have for the bunny hopping, that should happen immediately on the first bunny hop, not the second, not the third, not the fourth. Unfortunately though, that's what we got, and this change is horrible. This is a horrible change because it's not technically a change at all. It doesn't fix any of the actual issues that are happening in the game per se, because again, there's so much bunny hopping going on. So that didn't do anything but give them a thing for them to say that, like, hey, we added this back into the game, which is crap. Anyway, so players can now push, like I said, can push the package in escort mode with confidence, where their legs won't detach or torso is stranded from them. Apparently that was a thing. I don't feel like that's really the issue with escort. I feel like the issue that we have with escort right now is the fact that the TTK is so high. And I get it. They want a high TTK game. They want to be in competition with COD. And that's totally fine. I totally understand that 100%. But at the same time, you're trying to play and you have like an escort mode that, Overwatch does really well or Paladins does really well, and you're trying to duplicate that with your game and wanting to do the same. And I get it, your characters have hero abilities and whatnot, but the abilities are not, they're not going to change if you're going to push that or not. The only abilities that are going to cause you to be able to move the point or actually get escort going is probably your ults. Like when you're going ult with the Phantoms, or you're ulting with the Libertads, or just the major ones. Not when you're throwing down your energy barrier, not when you're throwing down El Remedo. Not when you're hacking, like any of that stuff. It's not going to really help you at the end of the day push the escort mode. Again, escort modes are higher, more team-oriented modes. So it does require you to have more of a teammate orientation with it. But again, I just don't feel like escort right now is going to be a good game mode for anybody to play, even on higher levels. Again, even when you're playing on a good team comp, because TTKs are so high. And so again, one cheeky positioning or anything on escort mode can lock down the whole people from advancing. And people, there's no skill-based matchmaking. So people that have been playing this game and already know like little cheeky spots, where to hold them and stuff like that, there's going to be a lot of players that have advantage on others that don't know that. Anyway, moving on. We're going to go to the weapons now. So weapons have been various fine-tuning for long-distance shooting, including slightly reduced walking speed when holding your breath while wielding scope which makes sense when you think about it. That's already been in the game. The fact that that wasn't in there is kind of crazy. Revamped how snipers flinch when they're tagged by enemy fires, increasing the flinch and keeping it going through multiple hits. They need to increase it. I can already tell you right now that needs to be increased. It's not enough. I mean, it works enough on me, and that's fine. You know, like, I mean, I don't snipe a lot, but people that actually know, like, how to control recoil, flinch, and all that, it needs to be stronger. It needs to be really strong. It's just not strong enough right now, so a lot of people are able to keep sniping in the game, just doing crazy things in sniper rifles. Squared away a PC-specific issue where players can't set aim down sights on toggle after completing a match and changing gameplay input, which is kind of crazy. I didn't know that. I'm happy they were actually able to fix that. You know, I mean, it's not fair that console players are allowed to do it and then PC can't do their own specific things that they need to do to make their gaming experience better. So that's a good change. Now, before I proceed on, I'm very upset with the weapon changes. They didn't do anything really to weapon changes, and I'm telling you right now, I think sniper rifles in the game are busted. I think they're really extremely strong, and I feel like they need to be worked on the most. The shotguns, I also feel like need work, but I don't feel like they can do too much to them because then they won't be shotguns. You know what I mean by that? So I think if they do anything with shotguns, I think it's just going to be the double barrel that's going to need any type of nerfing or any type of work per se. It's just because it's a 2-tap and it has its crazy range. It really does. And I know maybe people have experienced it, maybe people haven't, but I feel like I've been shot across the map with this thing. Not all the way across the map, but it feels like that when you're getting shot and you're nowhere near close to them with a shotgun. So maybe just reduce the range of the double barrel just by a tad bit. I haven't seen the rest of the shotguns nowhere near as much as the double barrel, and I mean, I've seen the AA-12, I've seen all the other shotguns actually being played, but the one that's being played the most in game right now is the double barrel. And again, I feel like if they just reduce that aim down sight range, or at least the fall off damage on it gets increased somewhere in between, where either the fall off ranges, you know, for the damage is decreased where it's not hitting as hard, or just have a natural, it's not going to hit, or maybe it's going to, you know, just a weaker spread altogether there. Anyway, that's pretty much how I feel about weapons. The AK maybe needed a little nerf. I feel like it needed to be reduced down a little bit. Other than that, though, they missed the mark on weapons. They could have done way more on weapons. They just barely touch the sniper flinch, and they're like, okay, we fixed it. And again, I feel like that's not great. Okay. Anyway, so social. Fixed an Xbox specific issue where the Xbox button broke on the in-game social menu after inviting a player who said from said console. That's wild. Fix an issue that allowed blocked players to read your chat messages. That's also wild. What the fuck? Tweak the way ping is calculated in matchmaking so you'll have access to a wider group of players who share your ping characteristics, which probably really doesn't matter because there's no skill-based matchmaking, so why would they want to even try to calculate to have you have a relatively the same ping if you're going to go up against players that are going to be straight-up demons? You know, so why does that even matter? Players were unable to join a nearly full game in progress despite being invited by someone already in the game. But good news, they can now. So this is a cool little feature. So now if they're in the middle of a game and you send them an invite while you're in the middle of the game, they can join your matches in game if there's an open slot, which is really cool. That's a really cool feature they can do in the games. You know, Rogue Company didn't have that when I was playing it, and I wish it did. That would have been a lot better. It would have made the games a little bit more fun. Nevertheless, they did not do that, and so Rogue Company just, you know, knows something that's behind. But here in XDefiant, they did do that, and I think that's a good change. Fix an issue where players could join a game in progress that didn't fit their customized controller and matchmaking settings. So pretty much just mess with their settings altogether, mess with their bonds and everything. That's whack. That's some coding going on in the actual game itself. So that's something that they need to go back and figure out because that's on them there. So netcode, a Libertad's medical skills were so potent that they were soaking up the bandwidth. That's been fixed. The bandwidth issue, not the healing potency, which remains untouched. So the bandwidth issue, by the way, there's been a bandwidth issue. I don't think it's just the Libertads. I think there's something else going on because the game's got really horrible band registration. It has horrible hit registration. And servers, like you're getting shot around walls, which apparently there's a reason for that. But again, I can understand there were some games that made it look like I was laggy in some cases, but then it was nothing after that. It was like nothing ever happened. So again, I think the Libertad's medical skills, or again, that them fixing that is okay. I didn't really recognize it enough to care, honestly. Okay, factions. Added additional fixes so that the Echelon players turn invisible only when using the digital ghillie suit rather than for their entire lives. They're supposed to be sneaky, but come on. Corrected how feats of Libertad's battlefield medicines are highlighted at the end of each round for well-deserved peer group recognitions. So again, the Echelon I feel like is a really strong group. So the fact that the fucking the invisibility on the ghillie suit just remained throughout the whole life is kind of crap. And I'm pretty sure that was one of the reasons that they took this character out of beta from the past before the preseason release. And the fact that they didn't fix that is wild. So they still have the same issue, and that was one of the same reasons they didn't have these characters in beta, was because the characters were going completely invisible and they were going invisible in the entire matches, and it was still here now. So that was still an issue. So so far all I'm seeing is they're missing their mark here. Okay, so devices. The camera used to shake when nearby explosives explode, whether explosion caused players damage or not, but now the camera shakes only when the exploding explosive causes damage. I believe this is incorrect. I believe this still happens regardless if you're near the explosion or not. There were a couple of games that I played, not over the weekend, but like Wednesday or Thursday night. It was the first day that the update actually dropped. And it still felt like that there were a couple of explosions that like wasn't doing damage to me, but my screen was still shaking and was still going like all over the place. So I don't exactly believe all that. So I guess I'll just do more work, but I think that's still an issue. Maps. Tweak the orientation of flags on the Liberty map because somebody had to get upset over the maps. That's just straight up what that is. Somebody got upset, somebody complained, and they fixed it. That's something I don't care about. Miscellaneous. Crash fix variances. Don't tell us any of the crash fixes, so we don't really know anything, so that's kind of niche. Reduce the pop-up frequency of the band for toxicity notification because you know who you are. Maybe you should stop talking shit. Fix an issue preventing players from deploying abilities and devices after changing control input. That's wild. The Buzzkill achievement wasn't unlocking, but now it's unlocked according to plan. Don't care. Previously, cosmetic items were displayed as available in some places, but not in the place where you could actually get them. That's fixed now. Don't care. Okay, so what do I think about this update? Was this a very successful first update for XDefiant? Do we feel like that this is what the direction they wanted? Do they feel like they made really solid changes? I'm going to say no. I feel like this is a really bad start. Okay, because again, this is just something that, like, you know, the lead developers, the directors, whoever is up top, you know, they strongly feel that the way that they want this game is the way that it should be played, and I feel like that's going to be their downfall ultimately at the end of the day, because one, the weapons are atrocious. The sniper rifles are absolutely broken, and I get it. They're sniper rifles. They should be able to do some crazy things, and you should be able to hit some wild shots, but legitimately, it's like you put no effort. It's so easy to snipe in this game. It really is. Like, there's no drawback. There's no, you know, aim down sight reduction. And I know there's people that can lean into the aim down sight and stuff like that, and that's what makes it faster and stuff. But I think overall, either they need to increase the flinching for sniper rifles, or they need to do something where fall off ranges like go away, or something where that way people have a chance to survive in these games, because most of the time now you're just getting one tap by a sniper rifle and it's just unbearable. There's just a lot of also hit registration issues that happen. A lot of, other things that I feel they could have worked on. Like, for one thing, there's a input latency on controllers. I don't know this on PC, and that could be just for console players in general. I mean, but I strongly feel that there's an input latency where, I try to shoot sometimes and my gun doesn't shoot, and that's because I could be in the motions from transitioning from sprinting to aiming down sight. But like, even though if I'm holding down the trigger button, eventually my gun should start firing, and it doesn't do that at all. It just completely acts like that it doesn't exist. Or the same thing when I go to like throw any type of utility like an EMP grenade, a sticky, or a frag grenade. If I'm pressing too many buttons at the same time, to me, I don't feel like I am, but then again, it won't work. So then there's many times in game that I have just died to simple things like input latency, hit registration. Like, I shoot a whole magazine in a guy and it looked like only 2 shots hit him, and then he shoots 1 bullet and then I just die straight to the ground. It's, there's just some moments that are crazy. Again, running around walls, being in the middle of running around a wall and getting shot in the back, or you just dying because your hitbox drifts behind you a little bit, so they can still kill you technically. See, that's stuff that needs to be fixed in the game, and that's stuff that wasn't addressed. And again, the bunny hop. Before I quit, the bunny hop. The fact that the bunny hop, they add a penalty on the 4th hop is bogus. Because I'm telling y'all right now, y'all may not see it right now, but they can kill you long before the 4th bunny hop. The first bunny hop is more than proficient enough to keep the sight down and to kill people. And the only reason people are doing it is because it's messing up the opponents too. Like, it's giving them aim down sight, and then while y'all are hopping, for some reason it makes our hit registrations not happen. And that could be the whole thing with the hitbox drift that they were talking about, that when you go behind the wall, your hitbox kind of drifts behind you. That could be the same thing that's going on with the bunny hop, and you're bunny hopping, so your hitbox is drifting up and down, so it's making it like it can't be hit or targeted because it's moving back and forth in all these motions. So like, when you're shooting a whole magazine at somebody that's bunny hopping and you're only getting 2 shots in, and that's all you're hitting, that could be the reason why, is because of the hitbox drift. But anyway, my opinions, I think this is not a good update. I think they could have done better with this update. And I feel like that, with that being said, I feel like that this is not good. I feel like the next update that comes in, it helps out. They need it. I feel like they really do need it. Because again, this is a free-to-play game, and they're trying to go up against COD. They're trying to go up against COD. And COD is a AAA game, bumping out content, bumping out skins, and bumping out all this stuff. They're not going anywhere. And I'm telling you right now, their hit registration's fine. It works. They don't have bunny hopping in, like, they don't have a 4-time bunny hop in Modern Warzone or Warfare Black Ops Zone. Like, they don't have that. But guess what? People keep playing it. So you tell me, XDefiant developers, do you think this was a good decision? Anyway, everyone, that's what I think. If y'all enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. I'll be making more content throughout the week, and I do my own live streams. So if y'all want to check out my community posts, or if you're in my Discord, you can check out my Discord on my stream schedules and see when I schedule out or when I post my schedules. And y'all can come on down, have a chat with me, give me your thoughts and opinions on what y'all think about the update, and yeah, we can go from there. Anyway, everyone, I'm going to cut that out to the video. I'm going to check out, and I hope to catch y'all in the next one. Peace out, and have a fantastic day, everybody.